All right, so Mike, this is just kind of a demonstration of a drill based off of the concept that I was talking about. So we can use the existing drills, side 1, 2, ABA, BAB, CNC, anything that has us moving laterally to kind of practice this concept of efficiently stepping. But I've actually thought that perhaps we could come up with a new drill that I want to call counter step. So it's going to follow similar rules to counter walk and counter lunge in that you're throwing at the same time. However, instead of somebody walking towards you and countering, or lunging towards you and countering at the same time, what you're going to do is you're going to have two people start within a range. This is how you stand right over here. A general range, close enough to hit chest quadrants, not close enough to hit the hips. And what is going to happen is you're going to have an attacker or an approacher and a retreater. And what the goal of this is the approacher is going to step forward in one of three directions, either straight forward, forward and diagonal to the right, or diagonal left. As they step forward, they're going to throw. At the same time, the retreater steps one of 5 directions. They can either step left, right, back, or diagonally left, diagonally right, when it backwards. And you're going to throw at the same time. And the goal is to find the most efficient ways of moving to keep yourself away from the opponent's attack and still able to hit their closest quadrants efficiently. I think we can do this both single and full combo. So single, of course, it's going to involve a little more hand blocking or stop hitting and getting the hand in the way. However, I think it can still be of benefit, because how many times do we have somebody who just lunges in and they just start throwing? If we can learn and train ourselves to step back the moment that we read an opponent's approach, or at least step laterally the moment that we read an opponent's approach and throw a shot, I feel like we're going to reap a lot of reward, because people don't expect the kind of trained immediate step offside and throw at the same time. There's usually a bit of reading, the block, maybe the step, but not necessarily the same throw back at the same time until you get to the very higher level. So what this would look like is this. Back up a little bit. So Amber's just going to step any of the 3 directions that she wants. I'm going to try and step at the same time and throw. So whenever you're ready.
Oh, God. Nice.
Okay? So it wasn't the most efficient because I just stepped kind of straight back, not necessarily back and to the left. There is a table here, unfortunately, so I can't necessarily step back and left, but I didn't make a great choice either. I threw a flat cross, right? And the arm was still out. So more efficiently would have been had she stepped forward and we do that again, throwing a backhand, right? So I think this gives us the opportunity to really kind of explore these options. And if we get to do it back and forth, and we know the 3 most common responses, we can start to read which way the body's leaning, which way the feet are beginning to move, and where the most likely responses are. So let's say that she steps, let's have you back up a little bit. Now let's have you step again on one of the laterals, right?
Sure.
So go ahead. Right. So better choice, because matched her step, didn't step back into the right, step just right and through hip, landed on the back. Her shot just landed arm, so a better trade. Now, obviously I want to get the hand in the way or find a more efficient way to do this, but in this way we can kind of explore those options. Now let's say that we grab full combo, right? So baby, grab whatever you want. Let's just do board on board. So this gets a little more difficult because now we can't just throw. Let's say that she steps forward and I step back. From straightforward, right? And I just step back. Nothing necessarily changed. This is not the best way to do this. It may not be the worst because we haven't necessarily done a whole lot of changing of the angles. I'm not in any more danger or less danger. She's not necessarily in any more or less danger. But let's say that she steps forward again, and I learn to start stepping off to the side. if we can start to read that and say, okay, stepping diagonally right, our most likely shots are going to be shield side shoulder and shield side hip, right? We can train that response. So go ahead and step forward and throw, right? So it didn't necessarily land. I can adjust the angle, but I know it was close. So I think with counter step, we can kind of take this opportunity to learn how to approach and throw a shot and cover over, as well as retreat, defend ourselves, and throw a shot at the same time with a higher chance of efficient returns. I'm going to see about working this into my local interval circuit, and I wanted to put this out there to you and see what you thought and if you might have any adjustments or if you want to try it yourself. All right? So that is counter step.